Hi. Hope you're all doing well. What's been going on this week? Well, it is only Tuesday today as I'm recording this first bit. And I just thought I'd update you on my little Rik Mayall Comedy Festival evening that I went on Saturday to see Chaparat Sandy, sometimes known as Chappie. And boy, was she hysterically funny. I was so thrilled to have been in her company. We couldn't record, obviously, but she did make me laugh. She said people often think, because she's Iranian background, she said people think that she's Indian and talk to her in Hindi. Then she said she used to politely nod along, thinking, well, I won't tell them now because they're in the middle of the sentence. She didn't know what was going on. And then she said somebody thought she was Greek, and she decided to be honest and say, look, I'm not Greek. I don't know the language. And the woman said to her, that's your mother's fault for not teaching you the language. You know, she said people so launch into their understanding where they think you're from. So she was very funny. And this coming Saturday, we've got Peter Richardson, who will be doing videos and footage of Rik Mayall to summarise Rik Mayall's life. So I'm looking forward to that. And in between the town, there's bits and bobs going on. People can book online to go to free events. Various up-and-coming comedians are on. So I'm just going to show you a few little pictures of around the town just to commemorate Rik Mayall as the person that he was. And apart from that, I was going to show you, which my sister just sent me as I was standing in B&M. Now, B&M is a store in the UK. I thought it was called B&M because of its reference to bargain madness, because of the bargains in the shop. But apparently it's the owners of B&M are Malcolm Billington and Brian Mayman. So that's where the B&M comes from. Anyway, I was in the middle of B&M, feeling like Snow White, singing to myself, someday my prince will come, because my sister sends me video footage of her paragliding in Chamonix. Now, she went last year, you probably remember me saying, because we were laughing, saying how the other half lives, and it's just that she said she always wants to go, and she went with the family last year, so her and her husband have gone this year, and she said if she went this year, she was definitely going to paraglide. So I've got some video footage of that because the man who's taking her has got his GoPro on the end of his stick, and the scenery is spectacular over Mont Blanc. So, yeah, have a look at that. It's really fascinating. And my sister's Debbie, you probably know, I've mentioned her before, younger sister. And, that's that. And I was going to say, have you ever tried, changing the subject completely, ancestry.co.uk? Because years ago, before my mum died in 2013, I was researching family history because her mum was half Italian. So that makes me an 8th Italian, I think, yeah. And I was looking for my granny, who was half Italian, online. And somebody contacted me saying, I think we are related. Turns out we were. And she gave me loads of information. I was trying to piece it all together, and I've got various birth and death certificates and whatnot. Very difficult to go back in Italy, though, in certain times. But anyway, she was saying that, did I know that we have a relative called Venetia who was a secretary to a sheikh, a royal sheikh, so a prince, I think, or something like that. Anyway, if she's out there, Venetia, I'm related to you. How exciting is that? You know, I feel like saying, I can do shorthand, you know. How come I didn't marry a sheikh? Anyway, in the shake of a lamb's tail, I'm going to show you a picture or two of Chamonix. So here we go. And I'll catch you in a bit. I thought I'd share with you this little section in the Rik Mayall Comedy Festival booklet. It's from a lady called Lulu Simons, and it says, having spent summers with an itchy bum after donkey rides on British beaches, Lulu is canvassing posh people to think twice about where to spend a gap year, advising them to go find themselves in New Brighton, Blackpool and of course Rhyl with her council estate gap year whip. And it made me laugh because that's where we went for our little trips. The odd day trip to Rhyl for our holidays when we were growing up. And yes, I went on the donkeys. A random insert here. I saw these two cards in Waitrose and I just thought I'd take a photograph because they did tickle me as I was looking at them, particularly as I keep moaning about my hip. Hello, it's Pavlova making day today. Anna Pavlova, white and fluffy. And in here, this bowl, I've just whisked up 6 egg whites and 6 ounces of sugar and 3 egg whites. Delia Smith recipe. She says you don't need to add in any corn flour and white wine vinegar, but I do because I watched my mother-in-law once make it, and she always, said that she felt it tasted better. So I do 2 teaspoons of white wine vinegar, 2 teaspoons of corn flour, and 2 teaspoons of vanilla essence or extract I use, and I just whisk that in once I've done that, and it's ready to go on my head and it won't fall out. La-di-da. And I'm just going to put it on the baking tray. Tip of the day, just put a bit of oil underneath. I put a bit of olive oil underneath to keep the paper on there. The oven is heated to 150 degrees, and I'm going to put it in there. What does it say here? I think you have to turn it down after a bit. So place the baking sheet in the oven, then immediately turn down the heat to 140 and leave it to cook for 1 hour. Turn off the oven and leave it overnight. Don't let anybody open the oven door, and it's in the cooling process that you get that nice sort of mallowy taste in the middle, and it's crunchy on the outside. And then you can put your cream on the top or whatever you like, or mix mascarpone if you prefer a bit of mascarpone and cream. I used to put a little bit of sherry in the cream, thick cream, and whisk it up. And if I was going to put half grapes on the top, or I prefer raspberries actually, so raspberries, strawberries, whatever fruits you like. And it's a great summer pudding. So yes, nice to leave it in the oven. And if you do it overnight before a party, you know that you've got a couple of pavlovas and you've got a great homemade pudding. So I'm just going to assemble this and show you what I put in the oven. So I've just put it on the actual baking tray on the paper. Because it's an oblong, I've actually gone with an oblong shape. Normally I go with a round, but yeah, that should rise a little bit and puff out a little bit, but not too massive. And enough to be able to cut into squares or whatever. Next day, here's the pavlova. And I shall put cream on it. Extra thick cream I think I'm going to go with, and raspberries. Next morning, here we are with the pavlova, and I've just put frozen raspberries that I defrosted because I didn't have any fresh enough to put on. I always have a few raspberries in the fridge, but not enough. So it looks a bit wet, but I like the fact that it's got the raspberry juice, and I've put on some icing sugar on top, so I'll give you a close-up. I think it'll taste better than it actually looks. The wetter raspberries make it look a bit soggy, but I think the juice will be absolutely delicious. And this is me slicing into it, just so you know. You've got that mallowy centre and the crunchy outside. It's 10:30 in the morning and I'm diving in already. I couldn't resist.
So this is the super small wing.
Okay, I think.
Yeah. We need to run less than this.
Go.
There we go. Let's prepare the glider.
Ça dépend.
those pictures and video footage incredible. Have you ever been to Chamonix or Mont Blanc? Have you ever paraglided? Let me know in the comments. And if you've got to the end of the video, please type paragliding. Oh, it's too long, isn't it? No, forget that. Yeah, just subscribe. And hit the like button. I'm desperate to get to 500 subscribers and I need to get there. Yeah, if you wouldn't mind, that'd be brilliant. And yeah, let me know if you've done something exciting on your travels, apart from go to Rill and sit on a donkey. Bye for now.